What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody. I am Love Coach Scott Thomas, and welcome to the Awakening World. We have a really special show tonight. You know, I was saying to our group before the show started, we're all in the green room. We've done about 600 of these shows, and we've had a wide variety of authors and presenters and lecturers and teachers, and one of the most significant overall overreaching themes is that as we enter an awakening world, as we enter the new paradigm, it's all about the rise of the divine feminine. I'm a white man, so I can say this. We've done a terrible job. White men have been in charge for the last several thousand years, and look at what the position of our world is. It's not very good. Time to give it to the women. Time to give it to the divine feminine. I think the rise of the divine feminine is very much embodied by the rise of awareness of Mary Magdalene. You know, the Catholic Church turned her into a prostitute and tried to degrade her and diminish her. But in fact, she was Yeshua's equal partner. And more of the women and the people who are studying her, learning about her, channeling her, tuning into her, are understanding her as the equal and as the balance that this world so needs. So that's what tonight's show is all about. And I'm really excited to briefly, we've got so many presenters. We've got about 20 people because we have authors from this anthology book. We're all going to share 2 or 3 minutes about what Mary Magdalene means to them. But I am really happy to have Astara with us, and she is going to be co-hosting the show with me. And she is the woman who has put this incredible book together. The book is called Magdalene, Unveiled, compiled by Jane Astara Ashley. We will affectionately call her Astara, with 33 contributing authors, and more than half of them are in the Zoom room and with us right now tonight. So welcome, Astara. Please unmute and tell us a little bit about this journey of putting this book together.
Oh, thank you, Scott. Thank you, everybody. I'm so grateful to be here tonight and to be in this conversation with all of us around the rise of the divine feminine and the power of Mary Magdalene, this energetic wave of love, which is just so strong right now. This book was birthed through a moment when I was going through a dark night a couple of years ago. My father had died. I had moved to a different state after 25 years. My final and youngest daughter had left the house, so I was an empty nester. And I'd been attacked by a dog, and everything fell apart. And I found myself lying on the floor with the dog, sleeping on the floor for a couple of months. I was just so trashed. My nervous system was trashed. I didn't know how to handle this particular dark night. And I'd been through some dark nights in my life. This one, though, took me deep. And while I was down there on the floor, Mary Magdalene came to me, and I had been in training as a priestess for many years and had been really steeped in the divine feminine and had been training as an anointing priestess and had worked with this, but she showed up in a whole new way for me when I was down there on the ground. And she basically told me, I heard her say, "Bring me your black veil. Sit underneath your black veil with me." She directed me, and so I went and got my black veil, and I sat in the mornings with my black veil over my head. She was there with me underneath that black veil, and I realize now, looking back, that I was in the tomb. And she came and sat with me and held space for me at the foot of my cross, the way she had sat at the foot of her beloved Christ's cross. And so I was able to listen, finally, get out of the torture chamber of my mind and listen. What is going on? What do I need to do? And she planted the seed. She said, "You've got to do this. You've got to call these voices together, but in a whole new way." And I had created anthologies over the years as a book publisher. This one was different. So I had no choice but to really listen. And then a couple months later, I found myself in Glastonbury on the anointing table with three priestesses with their hands on me, anointing me, hands-on healing. A few of them actually are in this book. And in that moment, I had another encounter. Magdalene and Christ showed up on either side. And she whispered in my ear and said, "Beloved, it is time. Call them in. Make the offer. Just do it. Don't make a big deal out of it. Just do it." And he came right in front of my face and said, "You are to plant the seeds of my love." And that was it. That night, I received the downloads. I created the sales page. I created the invitation. The next day, I started reaching out. And the book filled itself so beautifully. I didn't have to do any marketing or any strategy or any stress. It just happened. And I realized it was the magic of going into the tomb and listening and just peeling away all of the distractions and being with the depth of love that is possible for us. And that was my purpose now, was to be able to sit at the foot of other people's crosses and hold space for them, because we embody what we survive. And so that was the intention here. And so it's just been this beautiful, joyful journey to link arms with these beautiful beings and to weave our stories together of our own healing and our own dark nights and our own grief and our own evolution, and how Magdalene played a role in that.
Beautiful. Well, it's a perfect example. And for all of our presenters, what you just saw is the perfect modeling of how to tell your story in a nice, tight, beautiful amount of time. Thank you much, Astara. And we're going to be hearing from Astara. She's going to be co-hosting. And I'm going to read, Astara, some of the comments that have come in from our chat box. Eleanor Joy, coming to us from Vancouver Island, writes, "My heart sings with gratitude for this beautiful tribe, and I'm appreciating what you're saying, Astara." Carol Craig is one of our regulars, and she writes, "The unity consciousness of our tribe is soul saving." Beautiful. And there's a few more. I want to acknowledge it is Dr. Laura's birthday, and during our Global Peace Tribe announcements, we're going to celebrate you in a big way, but she's about halfway through her life cycle. She's hitting 70 years old today. I love what this one, Pam from Reno, writes. "I only recently became aware of the teachings about Mary Magdalene through guest appearances by," drum roll please, "Christy Michaels. who of course is with us, and we're going to be seeing Christy in just a minute, and many of the other guests on tonight's show. And Pam has already ordered the book. So thank you, Pam. You are modeling what we want everyone to do. We want to order the book, and we're going to put in the chat box the link to order it. And we'll also take you to the Amazon page. Just a couple more comments. Erica writes, I have felt the divine love energy of Mary Magdalene at different times in my life when I needed healing. Sylvia, one of our regulars, writes, I've channeled Mary of Magdala for more than 20 years. Thank you, Bridget. She's also pre-ordered the book. And I know there's one more here that I wanted to read. Oh yeah, Carol Craig just was already with Eden Amadora, who's joining us tonight. She'll be joining us a little bit later. And she led the opening portal to Lionsgate. So it's beautiful how all of our tribe comes together. And for those of you that are new, and Dr. Laura went to the south of France to see some of the sites of Mary Magdalene. And Eden, of course, has led tours to the south of France. All right. For those of you who don't know our show, that are watching for the first time, one of the great things about our show is we always have live music. We are blessed to have the most wonderful house musical artist anyone could ever ask for, my beloved partner and co-host, Omashar, who's going to kick us off, and I invite everybody to move and groove to the music.
My love, don't cry. I'm with you here inside, and I love you. I'm with you all the way. Oh, my love, close your eyes, rest a while, realize you're so very loved. Child, don't dream we're apart. Dream your eyes are open. Open your eyes. Precious one, everyone, you're not alone, not forgotten. You are coming home. So rest into yourself. You're the one I'm waiting for. I'll patiently wait at your door, and when you are ready, open and be free. I hold you here in my heart, as vast as an ocean. Sleeping child, don't dream we're apart. Dream your eyes are open. Open your eyes. No more pain, no more tears. Come to me with your fears and give them up. Surrender into love. Remember who you are. You're vaster than a million stars. You are everything you could ever hope to be. I hold you here in my heart, as vast as an ocean. child, don't dream we're apart. Dream your eyes are open. Open your eyes. I hold you here in my heart, as vast as an ocean. Sleeping child, don't dream we're apart. Dream your eyes are open. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Open your eyes.
We are going to go to gallery view where we twinkle. We always send twinkles to Omshar and our presenters. And that is a beautiful song, Omshar. And one of the
It
things
is, and the reason that I brought it in is because it's by a friend of mine called Kathy Zavada. I've spoken about her a long time, but she's carried the mother her whole lifetime and many, many lifetimes. And her music is so appropriate for tonight. And this is possibly my top favorite topic of all times. It's not even a topic, it's what's happening to all of us, male or female. Mother is home, mother is coming home. And I just invite anyone who's listening, let her in, because she does not take no for an answer. So thank you.
I love you, Omshar. It was perfect. You know, and so many of Omashar's songs are kind of from divinity speaking to us, helping us to remember who we are. And I was just imagining that as the Divine Mother, if you wish, the embodiment of the Divine Mother's Mary Magdalene, offering those exact words to us. So it was beautiful, Omshar. Thank you. Well, in the beginning, there was Christy Michaels. All things Mary Magdalene as it relates to the Global Peace Tribe does and do begin with Christy. And so, of course, she's a big part of tonight's show. And welcome, Christy. You know, if you could share a little bit about your enthusiasm for this book, and then I know you have a very special introduction to make.
Watch me go on fire, watch me burn up with love and with compassion and with revelation and vision. This has been the most powerful and meaningful journey of my life. And I have to bring on Elizabeth Kelly to join me side by side, because it was Elizabeth who had an apparition of Mary Magdalene appear to her. She'll tell you the date of it. I think it was the end of the 90s. And she told Elizabeth that she was going to be rising. And would she say yes to aging her message? And what is her message? Her message is, we are equal, the equality. And so Elizabeth started to share, and I just exploded. Something in me was touched at a level like nothing ever had touched me. And I knew I had to go by Elizabeth's side. I had to find out about this experience. And I just have to honor Elizabeth. Now, Elizabeth is created, she is the Priestess Elizabeth Kelly of the Holy Order of Mary Magdalene. And she created the Lyceum of the Holy Sophia. And when you read my story in the book, you're going to see that I was actually presented to a congregation of about 300 people when I was 6 months old in the Temple of Solomon. And the legend goes that Holy Sophia was married to the King of Solomon, and that she had told him, you have to build the temple. And there were no boy babies to be found. And so my mother offered me, well, I could be not presented as anything other than the Holy Sophia Christos child, the breaking the paradigm and bringing in the divine feminine. And then fast forward to 10, Elizabeth ordained me into the Holy Lyceum of the Holy Sophia, the Lyceum of the Holy Sophia. So I just want to honor you, Elizabeth. You cracked my world open. It has brought me so much joy. and happiness. It's like the peace and the love and the joy that I've experienced has been, I mean, I just want to cry. It's just been so powerful. So thank you, my dear. You can.
Christy, I want to say thank you so much for always acknowledging and honoring me, because it, as it happens to any one of us, it's quite a daunting process. And for me, it happened in '89, quite a ways back. And when it happened, it was a shock to my nervous system. And then almost immediately afterwards, my mother passed, and another shock. And then all of a sudden, I'm back in upstate New York, and I ended up it's a long story, of course, but I ended up in a Russian Orthodox monastery as they produced this book on Mary Magdalene from the Russian Orthodox perspective. And that's when this piece of that she is the apostle to the apostles, the first to preach the gospel, and this whole world fast opened up to me very rapidly. And of all things, priests were very much of a guide for me that brought me into an incredible amount of new material on Mary Magdalene. And then I met my teacher, Rosamond, who is the head of the Mary Magdalene Order. And she imparted to me a empowerment to celebrate a Eucharist. Now, who would imagine that I would celebrate a Eucharist? And it just went on from there. But not through Rosamond. I was ordained a Hierophant in the Fellowship of Isis, which means I could ordain others. And that's how I got to bring Christy in. And she was inspired by my writing, which sadly, Astara, I didn't have somebody like you as a coach. So
Well, we shall see about that.
I wrote and wrote and wrote, but never published. But
It is not too late. And now I gotcha. We got to
Yeah.
get your writing out into the world, sister. Oh, yeah. Thank you so
it
much.
inspired Christy, and it has inspired others, and so many in our Northern California community, whether me or Christy, has come on board, where we have these very large celebrations now in honor of Mary Magdalene. So,
And this particular soul tribe, Astara, that you're pulling together, your intuition to reach out and connect with all these women that you're going to all be hearing, my beloved Global Peace Tribers, these women who have also they've heard the call, they've said yes. And something miraculous is happening. For me personally, it's been revolutionary. I've been having healings and powerful experiences that are altering, and it's helping me to understand that this unveiling is what revealing the truth of who we are. We have to have the divine feminine to rise up and be in her equal place. So I am so grateful to everyone who's come on board. This is Astara. You are an angel holding my hand every step of the way.
Thank you,
Getting-
sister. It's such an
getting this-
honor to work with you and to travel with you, to journey with you. And thank you, Elizabeth, for your story and your share. And I know this is just the beginning of so much more we get to play together in this
Yeah.
lifetime. So thank you for sharing.
And we want to call on our next sister, which is Letty.
Actually,
Silva.
before you do that, Christy, real quickly, we're not going to be able to do this for everybody, but I felt that it is important because Elizabeth is such a founding person of the Mary Magdalene movement and understanding. So I do want to direct people to her website, which is
great.
Magdalene.org.
Oh, thank you.
Magdalene.org. And for anybody who, this is kind of new, for those, especially those watching on Facebook and YouTube, might be new, wanting more information about Mary Magdalene. Of course, buy the book. That's essential. But also you can go to this website. And Elizabeth and whoever else has put this together has done a wonderful, wonderful job of helping to just kind of introduce us to Mary Magdalene. And there's a lot of good things on this website. And also learning all about the Holy Sophia, which we've done entire shows on in the past. So I just wanted to do that quickly. And Elizabeth, I so always appreciate your presence. I've enjoyed learning from you over the years. So thank you for getting our show off to such a wonderful start and all the wonderful work you're doing.
Thank you, Scott, for all the tenacity you've had to keep going. 8 years, how many shows? My gosh. And I have known Scott way back in the
We go way back. We do. Yeah.
to the Mill Valley Film Festival a long time back. So I acknowledge you very much, Scott.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Mhm.
All right, now you can introduce Letty.
Yes. Well, I was overjoyed to discover my sister, my Magdalene sister, Letty Sullivan. And part of the reason is because she relates to Magdalene how I relate to Magdalene. To me, the rise and the revealing of the truth of who this woman was as an empowered, enlightened, equal partner with Jesus is a social justice issue. And Letty has been working on doing intergenerational trauma healing, using the energies of Mary Magdalene to restore her connections to love in her family lineage so that she can be the matriarch that Magdalene was for all of us, the mother of all mysteries, the mother. And that's why it's so fitting that we have the Black Madonna on the book cover. Some people wonder, why do we have a Black Madonna on the book cover? It's because it begins with the Dark Mother. The Dark Mother was here way before the Christianity came on the scene. And so, Letty, I just so honor you. I celebrate your work and your dedication, and the healing that you're doing is phenomenal. So thank you, dear.
Thank you so much, Christy. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I kind of wasn't expecting that. But I'm grateful to be here tonight. I'm grateful to be part of this anthology because when I was introduced to Mary Magdalene, she was not really considered a main player. I grew up in a very conservative Christian household that was led by my mother, and my mother was an evangelist. She was a spiritual leader and teacher in a thought system that said that women were supposed to be meek and submissive and just be of service to everyone, completely self-sacrificing. And while she embodied that to the best of her abilities, she was so fierce and strong and received a lot of pushback for just being who she was and misunderstood. And when I was looking for a divine feminine role model, I had, of course, my mother first, but then I was searching for something. I was searching for a resonance that within the faith that I was brought up in, before I just threw it all away. Because there was a part of me that just completely rebelled against the form of Christianity that I was brought up in. But I felt that spirit was real. Like I had felt that there was a divine and holy presence. Like that was never in question. But there was always that question of, well, where do I fall in this? Because I'm definitely not submissive or meek or maybe soft-spoken, because I was taught to be seen and not heard and to, really suppress my voice. And I know a lot of women resonate with that teaching, be quiet, sit there and let the grown folks talk and things like that. But I found Mary Magdalene when I left home and was on my own trying to figure out how I wanted to move, how I wanted to show up, what felt real for me. And when I became a mother, there was another unfolding of, well, how do I do this mothering thing? I have my mother as an example, but what else is there, right? Because I kept seeing the cognitive dissonance of being told that you're supposed to be a certain way that isn't compatible with how you're naturally showing up. And so that journey brought me into this understanding of Mary Magdalene and her ministry and her place in the ministry of Yeshua. And it just kept giving and giving and giving to me, filling me up and giving me life and grounding me in a type of confidence that allowed me to step forward with my own ministry, which didn't happen until my 30s. But my gosh, I didn't think I would be in leadership or spiritual leadership. I was rebelling against my mother because I was so much like her, but didn't want to be. And it as I kept deepening with the understanding of how the divine feminine, what that power feels like in my body, what it feels like when we're in a circle, in a collective, in a group of like mind, of like heart, I just kept going deeper, and she keeps giving to me. She keeps pouring into me. And it just, Mary Magdalene's message and her frequency is life affirming. And it can, for me, it kind of shifted my whole understanding of how to be in leadership, not just in the world, but also in my family. And so my story comes from a place of becoming a matriarch because in the last 5 years of my life, all of our elders have passed in my family. I am 48 years old and I am the oldest woman left in my family. I lost my sisters in their 50s. I lost my mother in her early 60s. My aunts, my grannies, everybody is gone. And there's a void there. There was a vacuum that needed to be filled. And as I was writing this story, my oldest nephew, who's in his early 30s, he reached out to me. His mom had passed, and we were reflecting, and he said, Auntie, I don't know why I don't know why we didn't have a closer relationship. Every memory I have of you and Uncle Corey has been so positive and so powerful. The things that you taught me, I still carry with me, and it made me a better father and it made me a better husband. And that was the moment when I realized that it was time for me to embrace and hold that role of the matriarch, regardless of how I felt about whether I was worthy or ready or whatever. And I lean on the wisdom of the feminine to really help guide me. Because I don't know what I don't know, but I do know love. And Mary Magdalene taught me.
Letty, thank you, sister, so much for your voice and for your guidance, your leadership, your light. So beautiful. Thank you.
Just a couple of the comments that have come in. Susan Bloomquist writes, a well-expressed journey, which many of us have expressed, dear Letty. It is wonderful to see how divine feminine can transform lives. And Karen S., who's been with us from the very, very beginning, 6 years ago, wrote, I had noticed that the Black Madonna is on the book cover, and I appreciate that acknowledgement. And Omashar says, thank you for sharing your amazing journey, dear Letty. Thank you very much. We've got such an amazing number of authors. These are, I'm going to show the poster, which many of you probably have saw, but these are the authors who are going to, most of whom are going to be with us tonight. It's a lot of wonderful women that we're going to be hearing from. So they're only going to have 2.5, 3 minutes to share. Stara, as you introduce them, give me the name first, because it can take me a minute to find them.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
and of course, ladies, make sure that you have your camera on so that I can find you. And Astara is going to introduce our first 5 authors one at a time. So take it away, Astara.
Okay. I would love to call Sue Ellen Parkinson forward. Sue Ellen is our cover artist. And as we've been talking about the Black Madonna and the connection between the cover art and the Magdalene, I'd love to hear from you, Sue Ellen, a little bit about your how that came forward for you and why is this an appropriate cover for a Magdalene book?
hmm Well, I started painting Mary Magdalene maybe about 10 years ago, and the experience has literally changed my life because, and I wasn't expecting it. I was just started painting her because I thought she was the perfect iconic representation of all these women in the world who'd been, powerful women who'd contributed a lot, who'd been somehow maligned or erased from history. So I wanted just to honor her in that way. And once I did start painting her, I felt a very deep connection with her that hasn't stopped. And she's become kind of a compass, the way she teaches her energy of just no hierarchy, no separation, just love and affirmation and encouragement to be oneself. And in terms of this particular cover, I think she's called Mother of Mysteries, that painting. And I remember that I'd been reading that there'd been so many Black Madonnas found in the same region where Magdalene lived and taught in the south of France. And we don't really know what color Magdalene was. It's never stated anywhere. So she may have been Black. We don't know. For me, it's she's all women, and I could literally use any woman as a model to represent her, and it would work. But this particular one, the model was a young woman who is the daughter of a really good friend of mine. And she was very hip, cool, ultra cool presentation, about 20 years old. And I put a dress on her and put that veil on her and stepped back to look at her. And I could barely get my breath. She was so beautiful. And I thought that's it. This is the sacred feminine right there, right? It's right beneath the skin, right there in all of us. But you just have to frame it in a certain way and take the time to look to see it. So it was a moving experience for me to paint that. And I don't know if I should go on and on or what. You're short on time, Astara. Is that enough?
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Sue Ellen, for your contribution. And the thing that struck me about that painting too was the veil, and this symbolism of unveiling of the truth and bringing that forward. So that was another piece too that really struck me. And I know you mentioned there's some symbolism there with the acorns, that that the oak tree is part of Magdalene's symbology.
Well, she's actually these Black Madonnas that have been found there in the south of France have often been found near or even in oak trees.
Mm, mm,
So, and sometimes they'll have acorns carved into the statues, and it's so there's
mhm.
some kind of connection there. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Sue Ellen.
Mhm. Beautiful. Um, who's our next wonderful presenter?
Sandra Corcoran.
Mm.
Yeah. Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Astara. Thank you for having me. And thank the group of sisters who came together to birth this amazing anthology. I'll be very brief. Like many of the other sisters on this panel, my first introduction was to the Black Madonna. Back in '83, when my first child, my first daughter, passed away, and Native American women started coming and saying that I had promised I would work with them. I was an ex-Catholic blonde woman from the suburbs, and that just didn't make any sense to me, and I kind of fought it for a while. My first teacher was she who makes the Song of the Earth, and she brought me back, I would say, from the grief. It took about 4 years, even though I can still go to that moment and cry. But she really helped me go through the dissension to come back. And at that point, she initiated me into the Sisters of the Violet Flame, which comes out of Egypt through France. I didn't know anything other than what I'd heard as a kid about Mary Magdalene, and none of that was positive. And shortly after I was initiated, she passed me on to my longest mentor, she whose voice rides the wind, Grandmother Twyla Nietzsche. And so here I'm being taught by these very dark-skinned people about the most beautiful form of holiness and sacredness than I was ever taught personally through my lineage, through my family in the Catholic Church. From that, the seeds started to be planted, and she taught me a lot about the stars and the Pleiades and how the feminine energies, everybody from Mary Magdalene to Mother Mary to Isis to Hathor, had come down through those lineages. And she taught me for 14 years and then said, it's time that you go out now and teach in Europe, in the south of France, and in Egypt. And I was like, whoa, that's not on my agenda. I don't know how to do that. I don't know where to start. And she said, just pray. And when I prayed, Mary Magdalene came forward and said, I will help you with the words. I will help you with the teaching. And I got a lot of pushback from family and friends and those in corporate worlds where I had been. But I stepped aside and just trusted. And from there, my life has been enriched over the last 30 years like it never could have been if I hadn't taken that path. So I owe it to my first daughter to step on that path. And in the process of many rituals, I was able to have a second child, and she keeps my feet to the path. And so I thank Astara for inviting me into this process.
Oh, thank you so much, sister. I know everybody, when you read this book, your heart is going to crack even more than it is now for listening to Sandy. Thank you, sister.
Thank you.
I'd love to call Dionysia forward.
Oh,
We're looking
Oh,
for.
hello. There you are.
oh, thank
Hello,
you.
love.
Hi, love. Thank you so much for having me and calling me in and for answering the call, heeding the call, and inviting us into the call. Um, I too, as many of my beloved Magdalene sisters, truly came to the Magdalene when I was in the darkest night of my soul. She had been appearing to me in various ways throughout my life, but I didn't have the words or the name or the image to associate with her just yet. As a child, a very precocious child, I always wanted answers. I always had lots of questions, more questions than answers that I ever received. I was raised in the Greek Orthodox tradition, which is quite strict, quite rigid, quite by the books. And I remember oftentimes we would go to church maybe once or twice a year. My father was the florist that would put the flowers on the cross every year for Easter celebrations. And I used to always tug on my mother's dress or ask my father, where are the women? There were no women anywhere in any of the iconography on the stained glass windows. And what really bothered me more than anything else was that the girls were never allowed beyond the pews, where the little boys were always with the priest doing all of the altar boy stuff. And I felt so left out. And I was so curious about the Bible and about these mystical traditions, especially, the Greek Orthodox Church is just rife with incense and ancient wisdom. And I was always curious about it, but I never received an answer that quite satiated my precocious little brain. And I had had many apparitions and visions, some of which were on the verge of inappropriate, of Jesus from very early on, we'll say my preteen years. And I was never able to talk about any of that with anyone, so I kept them to myself. And I didn't truly understand that the lack of the female gaze in the Greek Orthodox Church, and then also my connection to Yeshua, Jesus Christ, I just didn't have anything to kind of tie that together, anything to weave it together until I went into my holiest of holiest dark night after a medical procedure, and I won't go into the details there. And I was brought to my knees, absolutely brought to my knees. And all I wanted to do was leave this cherished body that I had had such a deep reverence and respect and admiration for. As a dancer, as a mover, as a lover of life, I just wanted my life to end. This was brutal, physical, emotional, mental, psychological pain that I've never experienced before. And the only thing that kept me going was this deep knowing that there was something on the other end of this dark tunnel. And the Magdalene came through to me. And she came through to me when I realized this connection of the divine feminine that I had always known existed, but I didn't know it was in the form of a divine human woman, goddess, priestess, Mary Magdalene, someone that had been relegated to the prostitute. And when it appeared, when it all came together, that she was a human and that she was divine, I finally felt like my search for um, the spiritual path that I had already been on for 20 years after my father passed away, which was the beginning of my seeking for what is the point of it all. Finally, after having the Christian Greek Orthodox dogmatic church at arm's length away, I had homecoming. And I came back to the teachings of Yeshua, of Jesus, and Mary Magdalene. And because of these teachings having come into my life, and I'll wrap it up right now, I am still here. I will forever be grateful to Mary Magdalene that I am alive,
Mm.
that I get to pass on her teachings
Mm.
in this somatic, beautiful way.
Thank
Mm.
you so much, sister. So beautiful. So much depth.
Thank
What
you.
a beautiful, beautiful story. I'm also half Greek, so
Ah!
my Greek sister.
Yes.
And I am going to read a couple of the comments. Susan Blomquist writes, "You are teaching us all to realize our connection is in our own power." Absolutely. And then I was reading on Facebook, because we have people watching on, and welcome everybody watching on Facebook and YouTube. And Rachel on Facebook totally relates. She said she also was so discouraged by the hypocrisy of the church and the lack of feminine energy. And so hearing your story gives her hope and inspiration, and she wants to buy the book. So you're getting through to people. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's call Hallie forward. Yeah.
There she is.
Hallie's got some juicy nuggets for us.
Yes, I'm really happy to be here. I'm coming to you from Ibiza. Spain at 4 a.m. in the morning, so I will attempt to be coherent. But I'm happy to share that I am here with 15 priestesses who have also been learning about Mary Magdalene and tapping in. And everyone is talking about Greece. I'm going to keep this short and sweet, but I received my call while I was on a boat in Piraeus Harbor in Greece. I woke up in the morning and I have had clairsentience, I have knowings of things, and I have had other calls. This was not a call, it was a command. And it came in through my left ear. And she said, and she was not messing around. She said, reclaim your spiritual sovereignty. And I jumped out of the bed and grabbed my phone and wrote it down. And I have been following the breadcrumbs ever since. And they have led me down the most beautiful path of rediscovering the priestess arts that I was always drawn to naturally anyway. I was a childbirth educator and a doula. And so bringing back this womb wisdom, I was lucky enough to be trained with Kalila as a temple guide. And so I guide temples for women, and Astara was with me this year, which was so wonderful. And I also guide pilgrimages, which I had been doing previously. So I'm here to take people around the world to the places where the priestess was honored and where we can remember what she contributes to the community. Happy to report that yesterday on Mary Magdalene's feast day, I went to a very ancient cave here in Ibiza, and there were hordes of people, women coming, men coming, so much singing, so much chanting, so much celebration and remembrance. So it is happening, and I'm so happy to be just a small part of it and to have answered the call. Thank you.
Thank you, Hallie. And oh gosh, Hallie's story goes even deeper in the book. So yeah, I can't wait to hear what people say about that, about your story, Hallie. Thank you. Thank you. I'd love to call forward Sarah.
Yes.
Hey, love. You're
Am I
muted. There we
unmuted?
go. Yeah.
Thank you so much for inviting me into this international Magdalene celebration yet again. Wow, it continues. I really feel, though I come from such a tiny little place in the world, or so it felt for so many generations of my life growing up. Sorry, it looks like I'm unmuted.
No, you're good.
That's right.
We
You're
hear
good.
you. We
Yep.
hear
Good,
you.
good. Yes, from South Africa, I grew up in quite a conservative environment, and there was no place for a woman's voice. And like you all, I sought something deeper. And I searched quietly through my art. I'm an artist. And I looked for people who expressed through their art. And one day I found my teacher through research in a library, hidden away because during the apartheid time, anyone who spoke freely of the truth of Africa, the truth of the African soul, that voice was silenced. And very often the African soul spoke of that partnership, the divine feminine and masculine. And thus I met my teacher, Baba Credo Mutwa, and I became a disciple. I was taught by Baba Credo Mutwa and his wife, Virginia Mutwa. And that's another book. It's another story for another time. but it's part of who I have become. This love and this friendship and this deepening into understanding the truth of Africa. Yeah, this morning I met somebody and I was explaining myself to a perfect stranger, and I described my work and what I do with children. The name of my work, Ubu Mama, which in essence means motherhood. And that journey into holding the motherhood aspect for our children, because it's becoming more and more ever difficult for us to hold those values and that beautiful Africanness. So I support the mothers and support educators and support children in that growth. Just recently, I found a fun way to express Ubu Mama, because a lot of people don't get their Western minds around the word Ubu Mama. So I was able to reach in and take that word and bring it into its parts for us all. You be you, Mama. Because the truth of being Africa, being in Africa and being African, is about your essence shining forth as you.
Yes.
When
Beautiful.
I met the Magdalene, and you find yourself in trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be, let it be. And I found that. I found Magdalene in that time of trouble. Baba Credo passed. My mother had passed. And my daughter had left. So much misunderstanding. And for one who is on a sacred path, especially a woman who carries these sacred purposes, as someone who reaches into education and extracts that which children really need, it was a difficult path for me. And when I fell to my knees and Mother Mary came to me, Magdalene touched my heart. And she said, "You keep going, Mama. You be you, Mama. Follow the light. Just keep going, because the awakening is happening. And you are part of this."
Yeah.
And as you awaken and as we touch people and awaken those souls around us, your daughter will be with you. You be you, Mama.
Thank you so much, sister, for your beautiful share and really calling
Thank you
forward
from
this
Africa.
aspect of mother through the Magdalene in your writing. And so I'm really looking forward to hearing what people think about your chapter. Thank you.
With love.
Yes.
Always.
Isn't
Yeah.
it interesting how there's like this commonality of so many of these wonderful women whose stories we're hearing are, it's when they hit that really hard part. And that Mary Magdalene, the Divine Mother, the Divine Feminine coming through her or through to them, always is like lighting the way to the truth, lighting the way to each woman's soul purpose. And it's really beautiful. I do want to share two things, and then we're going to go to an Omashar song and then come back to authors. But I did notice that Hallie is offering a Magdalene pilgrimage, and it's a year from now. So you got plenty of time, everybody, to learn more about it and save your pennies. But I wanted to pull it up because I think that that's certainly something that some of the people watching might be interested in knowing about. Of course, the link is already in the chat box for those of you in the Zoom room. But I'm going to leave this up for the people on Facebook or YouTube. Take a screenshot, and then you'll see the URL, because it's too long for me to try and have you memorize. but it's mythicadventuretravel.com/Magdalene-pilgrimage. You can also go back and watch the recording. A reminder that all of our shows are recorded and they're playing out on our YouTube channel and on about 150 other broadcast partners right now. So go back and find it as you will. And Star, this is such a beautiful show. I'm just loving it. And we're going to take our little mid-show break, and we're going to go back to Omashar for his second of 3 musical numbers, and then we'll be back with Eden Amadora. So, but for now, here's Omashar.
It's by thy grace Magdalene. It's by your grace. It's by thy grace that I see. It's by thy grace that I see. It's by thy grace that I see your holy name. It's by thy grace that I feel. It's by thy grace that I feel. It's by thy grace that I feel your holy name. Someday the day shall come when all the glory shall be thine. People will say it is yours, and I shall deny, not mine. It's by thy grace that I see. It's by thy grace that I see. It's by thy grace that I see your holy by thy grace that I feel. It's by thy grace that I feel. It's by thy grace that I feel your holy name. Someday the day shall come when all the glory shall be thine. People will say it is yours, and I shall deny, not mine. Mary Magdalene, Christos, Sophia Maria. Mary Magdalene, Christos, Sophia Maria. holy name, your holy name, your holy name, your holy name, your holy name. Peace to all, life to all, love to all.
Absolutely perfect. Perfect choice of song. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Thank you. For those of you who are new to Omashar, by the way, you can find his music at Bandcamp. So if you go to omashar.bandcamp.com, that's where you can find the wonderful albums that he's created. And as you probably can tell, even just from the 2 songs he's done tonight, he's quite a master. So thank you so much, Omashar. Thank you. I also want to just acknowledge that a lot of the people, most people watching the show right now, Star, are watching us on Facebook, YouTube, and our broadcast partners. Thank you to the Sign Network, SINE, for getting us out. And come and join us. Come join the Global Peace Tribe. And it's easy to do that. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com. You can learn all about us, learn about the shows that we do. And most of all, you can join us. Just click register for the new season. And our season just began a couple of weeks ago, and it runs all through the summer till the end of September. So if you register now, you can get the Zoom room links to all of our shows, including tonight. You'll get it right away, and you can come on in and be in the Zoom room with all these wonderful presenters and wonderful people. And we really are a beautiful, beautiful community. And along the lines of beautiful community, one last announcement, Star, before we bring Eden on. It is the birthday of one of our favorite people, Dr. Laura. And Dr. Laura does not have her camera on or available. So you'll just have to take my word for it that she is 70 years young tonight. And so she's just about reaching the halfway point of her life's journey. We love you, Dr. Laura. Always appreciate all that you put into the chat box, your wisdom. And she's written a couple times tonight about the influence of Mary Magdalene in her life. So let's all send maximum grace to Dr. Laura. Maximum grace. I'm going to go to gallery view. This next cycle around the sun brings her radiant health and fulfillment in all aspects of her life.
Thank you and bless you.
There she is.
Yeah, I'm here. I love you all.
We love
you all.
Dr.
Thank
Laura.
you. That was beautiful.
All right. Well, it's time for Eden Amadora. And she, of course, is one of our favorite people. And several of our Global Peace Tribers were already with her earlier today as she was doing an opening the portal to the Lionsgate ceremony. And there she is, straight back from Crete. She just flew back from Crete yesterday. So welcome back to the Awakening World, Eden.
Thank you, Scott. Hi, everyone. Hi, Jane, Astara. So good
Hello,
to be
love.
here. So honored to be here. And yeah, just really excited about what you all are creating for the world. And I'm so, so happy to be a part of it in any way I can support. And thank you, Christy, for inviting me originally. And I love the weave of these communities, the Priestess Tribe and the Global Peace Tribe. We're all doing the good work together. It's so important.
And please, tell the audience a little bit about the work that you've been doing and how Mary Magdalene has influenced and shaped your life.
So, well, I'm part of a ever-growing, beautiful 13 moon mystery school and priestess community that Astara is part of as well. And many beings here. I can see Diane and all these sisters are here. It's beautiful. So I have been on the priestess path for 17 years, trained and ordained, and now focalizing. And even before I found Ariel Spilsbury, our fairy goddess mother, and Elaine Kalila, who was my very first entry into the heart of unconditional love and remembrance, I was on a path of seeking and soul remembrance and had been following a breadcrumb trail for many, many years. First through the yogic branch of my spiritual path and the shamanic. And then I was in the heart of the glamour world. I'd just gotten a record contract and I was still meditating and praying and really in communion with the divine very, very frequently. It was coming through the music. And I remember traveling from Italy back to America at the height of this kind of record deal moment in my life. And there was a long line for the money exchange counter when we were still changing our lira back to dollars back in the day. And there was a book leaning against the window, leaning against the glass. And I thought to myself as I got nearer and nearer, if that's in English and nobody claims it by the time I get up there, maybe it's meant for me. Maybe I'm meant to read that book on this long flight home to California from Milan. And sure enough, nobody claimed it. And I got up to the counter, I exchanged my money, and I look at the book and it simply says Mary on the cover. And granted, I'm in my 20s. This is a long time ago. And I bring this book on the plane and just devour it. And it is a channeled work. It is not the Magdalene manuscripts. It's an earlier book where I wish I remember the author at this point, where she channels the relationship, the beautiful spiritual tantric consort relationship between Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. And that at that time was just like unheard of. It was almost blasphemous. I wasn't raised religiously. And to me, it lit me on fire. As I was reading this book, I began to muse, wouldn't it be amazing to weave these concepts into my album? And so I wrote a song on that album called Mary. And it was really questioning, who am I? Who am I? Over 20 years ago, I began that inquiry. Who is this figure that was so diminished by the patriarchy? And as an artist, as a rock and roller, I was screaming, oh, Mary, which Mary? Marry me. Take me as your queen. Take me as that divine feminine embodiment. And finding the holy balance in myself at that time, I had named my album HOR, which was kind of maybe still wanted to get mom riled up. I don't know, but it was from a book that had a extra galactic sci-fi glossary, and it meant hyperdimensional radiating source. And isn't that what the divine feminine is? So it also was fun to play with that word, with the Mary question, where she was, just put in such a, like I said, a diminished light of her importance, her significance. And for me, she's been with me in my journey ever since that moment in time. And joining the Divine Feminine Mystery School really cracked me open to the greatest gnosis, which is the inner knowing that we are the temple. We are the body of the goddess. We are she. And as we exalt this historical figure, I can kind of hear her whispering in my own inner gnosis that it's time to take all figures of history and deities down from some kind of higher pedestal of worship and to come into union with the divine within, to recognize that we are that which we have been putting above for so long. And that for me is her primary message, that we are she, her eyes, her hands, her heart, her voice of love and the balm of mercy and healing that this world needs so, so badly at this time. She whispers to me that only love is real, only love is real, and all the division in the world right now need only be shifted with the awakening of the heart of humanity. Once the heart awakens, we see only love is real, unity. And that for me is the Magdalene and the Christos, Sophia Christos transmission, always, that only love is real. And when we awaken the heart, we recognize that deeply. So she's a big part of my heart. And I did go on the pilgrimage. I think, Christy, we did a show right after that. And one thing that I came back from that pilgrimage was that the forest and nature and the holy springs felt like the most sacred spiritual parts of the entire pilgrimage for me. Standing in these places covered in Catholic and Dominican iconography and symbolism, I felt very little of her spirit in those places, but boy, did I feel her in the forests and the holy wells and the springs. So that's my connection to her. It's through that remembrance.
Well, and I want to invite people, I'll put into the chat box some of the links to the shows we've done together on Mary Magdalene. Now, you have a wonderful song called She Rises. And what we haven't discussed is, do you want to play the song from your computer or do you want me to play the video that you did for us prior?
I'm honestly super jet lagged right now. So for me to find the song again and get it up, I think if you already have it at the ready, that might be the easiest way to do it. I didn't plan on playing it again. We recorded a little segment in case I was way too jet lagged to make it. And it'd be fun to just share that song. Can you still show the audience while you're playing the song, or does the video have to be the main visual?
The video is going to take up the band, it's going to
Well,
take.
then let's take a moment for me to go find it then, because if I can play it and we can see everybody, I think that would be really sweet.
Okay, that sounds wonderful.
I think I know where it is.
Okay, great.
Meanwhile, I want to say how excited I am about this book. I didn't get to hear the first part of the call, but I think it's amazing what you're doing, Astara, and just how many divine feminine kind of authors and writers and speakers you've been supporting over these last years. I've been lucky to be a part of several of those books thanks to you and your mission.
Oh, thank you, love. It's such an honor to weave our voices together for the collective. And I've just discovered over the years how healing it is for us to share our stories, just simply sharing our stories and the transformation that the authors go through as they're birthing the story, and then the initiations that come up, and how we transform through the process, literally like birthing a baby. It's that much of a transformational experience for most people when they do this, when they choose to share such a personal, vulnerable truth of who they are. And every word that is shared gives the reader permission. It gives the reader permission to feel like they belong, they're not alone, and that they too can share their story, clear all the shame, and elevate, walk in love. Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm excited about the book that we're also releasing next spring, but there's time, and I'm sure Scott will be happy to share about that later. Okay, Scott, I found it.
Okay, great. All right.
Am I able to share audio from my side?
Shar, do you want to give her?
I think you did.
I'm going to make you co-host.
Yeah, I think I can share. So Christy asked me to share this song. I think she heard it when we did the show with Marguerite Rigoglioso, and that was a beautiful show about Mother Mary. And I know they're so connected, Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary. So I'm going to invite that as we listen to She Rises, that we feel it as the Magdalene in us, as that embodiment of her love through the body as the temple. And I just want to invite you to listen and feel where this lives in you. Okay, let's see if this works. Hopefully it's loud enough. You hear it?
She asks us to remember to step beyond the veil. She asks us to surrender, drink deeply from her well. She rises from the darkness to break an ancient spell. She hands us our hearts back, new stories to tell. She rises, she rises, she rises, she rises. She rises in you, she rises in me. She rises like the sun, and she rises like the sea. A phoenix from the ashes, she rises from the flames, breaks us from our bondage and frees us from our shame. She rises, 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 untethered and free, untethered and free, untethered and free. We rise as her wings, untethered and free, untethered and free, untethered and free. We rise as her wings, we rise as her wings. She rises, 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 she rises up in me. She rises up in us. She rises in us. She rises in our truth. She rises. She rises.
Wow. Gonna go to gallery view. Isn't that an incredible song?
I have to shut off this thing now. Okay, good.
She's just continuing to rise. What can I say? There's no stopping her now. Uh, so many people, Eden, are appreciating the work they've done with you. A lot of our Global Peace Tribers, of course, participate, including what you did today. And for those of you who are new to Eden, you can find all things Eden Amadora on her website. And it's her name, EdenAmadora.com. And you can learn all, she has a wonderful quiz. It's really fun, what goddess archetype you are. You can learn all about her work. And you're still, on occasion, seeing private clients, yeah?
Yes, I am taking a few private clients. This year, I'm taking a pause from the year-long priestess training, but I have room for a few people in my schedule as I'm writing an album, writing a book, and creating my show called Lead with Love. So I'm still available. I love the depth of the one-on-one work. It's really special to track someone, and I've just been in love with the priestess work for so many years. It's like watching lotuses blossom. It's actually the best thing ever. So I will continue to do this work as long as I can.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence tonight, straight from Crete, and the amazing song. I love Dr. Laura said, Eden, I got to see you twice today. So actually, it was Carol who saw you twice.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah,
So,
we played another fun song on the opening of the Lion's Gate. It was the Walk Like a Lion song. So it's been such a fun way to share the music. It's the sneak peeks or sneak listens before it's officially released.
we'll do a whole show for when your album is released.
Oh,
That's
thanks,
for sure.
Scott.
Thank you, Eden.
And we'll have to do a show for when your book is released too.
Definitely. So as I've been writing, and I was writing a lot in Crete, Astara, I realize it's the Magdalene transmission. The whole thing is basically just that.
Yes, it's the goddess of love all the way. Yeah,
Totally.
so exciting.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cracking me open as I'm writing it.
Beautiful. Can't wait to read it.
And now, still more authors. Who do you want to introduce next?
I would love to bring Rose Wilder forward. Come on down.
There she is.
Hey, love.
Hi. So good to see you.
You as well. Well, I know you've got a good story. You've got one of the best stories to tell. This book is just really, your chapter's so potent. I'd love to hear from you about Mary Magdalene's sister and how she shows up for you.
I so appreciate that. Mary Magdalene and the Holy Family showed up for me very early in my life as a survivor of abduction and a series of years of journeying with that. I really, truly rebuilt my entire existence and my ideas of safety and structure. And what is so interesting is that, like many of you who've spoken tonight and my fellow authors, is that we found this beautiful, beautiful Mary Magdalene and Yeshua potentially in what might seem like our darkest hours. That's certainly true for me. And as I mentioned in the chapter, it is the crucible. It is what forged me. I would do it all over again because I truly met and came into relationship with Mary Magdalene, and Mary Magdalene showed me my way home. And she continues to support me in my journey as an entrepreneur, as a mother to 6 children. What I love most to do is to follow what she has taught me. I'd love to share a piece of that. I share some of it, of course, in the chapter. But what I'd love to share with you is something that might completely revolutionize how you think about business success for my fellow entrepreneurs, spiritual women who are growing their ministries. What if I told you that Mary Magdalene, yes, the Mary Magdalene we speak of tonight, the Mary Magdalene we know, who journeys with us, that Mary Magdalene, held the secret to building a thriving, abundant life and a thriving, abundant business without the exhausting hustle, the constant grinding, or the soul crushing, crush your goals mentality that's burning out women everywhere. So, as you know, I'm Rose Wilder, and I'm the author of chapter 30, the final chapter, and I find that so fitting in Mary Magdalene Revealed. My chapter is called Magdalene Maverick, and I have spent years, actually decades, discovering what I call the Magdalene Maverick way. I am a maverick. I am a Mary Magdalene maverick, and you are. A revolutionary approach where your sensitivity becomes your superpower. Your natural rhythms become your business calendar, and your authentic truth becomes your most magnetic marketing strategy. And here's what gives me absolute yummy, juicy chills. I have watched hundreds of women that I've worked with transform their businesses, personal lives, their relationships by doing less, honoring their cycles wherever they're at in life, trusting divine timing, and serving from overflow instead of depletion. They're making more money, creating deeper impact, and actually enjoying their work and their lives. Again, what we work for. Be present to that and enjoying it. It's revolutionary because here's the truth that the business bros don't want you to know. The most revolutionary thing that you can do in today's world isn't push harder, my love. Mary Magdalene taught me it's to trust your inner compass so completely that you become a walking invitation for others to remember their own magnificence. You are magnificent, my love. If you're exhausted by the hamster wheel of hustle culture, of social media, and you're ready to build success, the Magdalene way, where worth is unshakable, as Mary Magdalene knows. Think of her alabaster jar. I talk about this in the chapter. She knows her worth, and she knows the worth of what she has in her alabaster jar. It's worth a year's wages, and she doesn't discount it or apologize for it. The Mary Magdalene way is where your timing is divine and your presence is magnetic. Then, my beautiful beloved souls, this conversation is exactly where you need to be. You're in the right place at the right time. I know I certainly am. And I was in the right place at the right time when I answered the call, first to Mary Magdalene and to Jane Astara and this book. I love you.
Oh, love you. Thank you, sister. It's so true. You really do embody this beautiful, authentic, magnetic authenticity, truth. And we get to live from that space. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I love
Gorgeous.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, great. How about we hear from Diane?
Always takes a moment. A reminder to all of the presenters to put into the chat box how people can reach you. And there's Diane.
Yeah.
Hello, thank you. Hi. So, yeah, what's really on my heart, and Eden began to share, about a little bit about that, the 13 Moon Mystery School and our priestess training is so much about walking the way of love, and that we are initiated in that. And so what's really on my heart to share is a personal story about, her being a way through to heal this lineage template in my upbringing, and that is of my parents. And so my parents were divorced when I was about 5 years old. And what I didn't know until way later on is that, during their 20-something year marriage prior to that, they had a very deep love, a very deep connection, and very passionate. And they had 6 children together. But after they were divorced, and through, for the next 30-something years while my mother was still alive, my parents had a very bitter, ugly divorce. They could never be in the same town together. And so that was an imprint, from early on. And it was a very strained um, relationship, and certainly for us children, and kind of to be put in the middle of it and really not having this understanding, this template of a healthy relationship and of love. And so there was a gift that I received, and that was when my mother was in hospice and my father had come to visit. And this was just a couple of days before she passed away, and she'd been very incoherent for days. And so my father came, and I thought, well, I don't know that he's going to get to really have any kind of connection with her. And I had to leave and pick up my children. And when I returned and I came into the room, and my dad was smiling, and I said, "Did you talk with her?" And he had this big smile, and he said, "Oh, yeah." And I said, "What did you say?" And at that moment, I was turning the corner in my mother's eyes, and the beautiful song, that you sang in the beginning. Oh, my mind just went blank on your name. I'm so sorry. Really sparked this for me. But my mother's eyes were so bright, and the tears were running down her face. And she had this big smile on her face, and she was so alert. And my dad just said, "I told her I loved her." And so it was such a gift in that moment that, what I thought all of my life was that they hated each other, actually. And so what Mary Magdalene means to me is a way through to heal that lineage wound, where those wounds are held and carried forward. And so in this lineage, this initiation of what does it actually mean to walk the way of love, to hold the heart open, and to speak what needs to be spoken. And so I feel like she holds such medicine, certainly in my family and my lineage, and certainly for the world, for this kind of love to really be present.
Thank you, sister, for embodying this for us and showing us what this feels like through your writing and just through who you be. Thank you.
Thank you, love.
Yeah, I'd love to call Connie forward.
Hi, everyone. I'm so
Hello,
happy to
love.
be here. So happy to be here. I'm so cracked open by everyone's share, and I really feel I feel my story through everyone's stories, and I'm sure that must be the feeling that we're all capturing through hearing everybody's shares. I think what I'd love to weave in is that Magdalene speaks to me through my body and my voice. And I think I knew her. I can remember sitting in the pew, much like Dio shared about, where are all the women? I know, Astara, we talked about that, that I felt that in my body. And the only place for me as a young lady, child, really, I think I was 11, it was the choir. And it's the way I express love. And so, yeah, I found Magdalene through using my voice through song. And that led me. I also think Magdalene is the breadcrumb trail in my life. She led me to study music theater, which was never really on my radar, but that cracked me open. And following a career that I really thought would be my dream come true, through a lot of heartache. And, you know, that path is just really difficult. And it took a toll on my voice physically and on my confidence. And so that thread really brought me to priestessing, which is, again, something I never expected to find myself doing. But she's helped me to find my voice again in the healing work that I do. Anointing in particular I write about that in the chapter, how I found healing in my physical voice through energy healing and anointing. And so I get to bring my voice to my work and to my healing. And she's been there all along, reminding me of my medicine. Sing, 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 even when I was too heartbroken to sing. You know, I get to sing to my children. I've done that, you know, as babies. I get to sing in weddings and funerals. I get to sing as a healing tool. So yeah, she sings to me, she speaks to me, and she is that voice that tells me to keep going, even when your medicine or your gift shapeshifts through your life. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, beloved. Thank you for sharing your voice and showing us how to use ours in so many ways. Beautiful. Leola, love to hear from you.
Here she is.
Hey, thank you, Estara. Yeah, hello, everybody. Such an honor to weave my voice with your voices. This feeling, this global Magdalene sisterhood is truly so uplifting. I first started having memories of Mary Magdalene's lifetime when I was about 23. And I was in a beloved relationship with a soulmate. And through our intimacy, through our, you know, our journeys together, our shamanic journeys together and our travels, I started to remember like snippets of her lifetime. And, you know, just to preface, my understanding of this is not that I am an incarnation of Mary Magdalene, but that I am part of the soul group, you know, who I feel like I'm only just now starting to connect with you all, who carry the, you know, her ministry, her teachings, her wisdom codes, and also who carry her wound. And, you know, for me, my remembrance of her and what I write about in the chapter is kind of, my chapter's like a parts, little bit of memoir, like tiny little bit of memoir of my life, and a fictional imagining of the love story of Mary Magdalene and Yeshua and their time in the bridal chamber, because that's been a passion of mine and part of, you know, my work with Magdalene consciousness has been somebody who is embodied in a tantric alchemy, and that path, you know, from that very young age, I was guided to connect people to the mother, to connect people to the core of the earth. And because I was in a monogamous like relationship, I didn't take that usual path that a tantrika would take of initiating men. So I started doing these big dance sessions, and I called my work Kundalini dance. And I've been teaching and transmitting Kundalini dance for, you know, over 33 years now. And that became this process of inner alchemy, of inner union, of, you know, rising Shakti and purifying the chakras and being taken into a very, very deep process of, you know, karmic purification, emotional body purification, as well as, you know, starting to open up to the solar energies of the divine masculine and bridging that in, and the beautiful, you know, awakening that started, you know, to occur. So, you know, part of my journey, I'm in Australia and coming out as a pioneer. I've been doing this work for over 30 years. Coming out as a pioneer of this work in Australia, where it's a bit different to the culture you have in the States. And I've spent a lot of time, I did a lot of teaching. I did about a decade of teaching in North America and Canada. And there I would be uplifted, where I could really feel everybody rising each other up. And here we have what we call the tall poppy syndrome, which is definitely, it's about don't shine, definitely don't stand out, fit in. And I never was very good at that. So also part of the work for me, the healing has been healing the wound of the, the outcast, the rejected, being told to be silent, being hushed. And I feel that that's very much, one of the Magdalene wounds, the priestess wound of the outcast. And this is where she's really called me to, hold me through that terror of coming into visibility. So
Oh,
part
sister,
of this
I
journey.
know.
Thank you, Astara. Thank you.
Oh my
This.
gosh. Thank you for facing that initiation for all of us, for the collective, through writing this chapter and being visible and taking a stand for the divine feminine in Australia and being that one who will shine your light no matter what gets projected onto you. Thank you, love.
Thank you, sweet.
So appreciating that you've got these wonderful people from all over the world, South Africa, Australia, Europe, and each one of you, it's like, I'm like, I want to hear more. I want to hear more, because each of your stories are so beautiful and so heartfelt. And again, for everybody watching on Facebook or YouTube, buy the book. And it's really easy. Just go to Amazon. And if you put in Magdalene Unveiled, you just have to write Magdalene Unveiled in the Amazon search bar, and I ordered my copy a couple days ago, and it'll arrive in time for Saturday night show. So,
Oh, thank you, Scott.
Absolutely. But
Yeah.
everybody, I mean, hopefully people are just really understanding what an incredibly important book this is. It's going to really be a beautiful, beautiful gift to give to people. Buy it for yourself, buy it for your friends. I get 50 copies and give it to everybody for Christmas.
Yeah. It's a transmission. It's a transmission. It's like a living altar. And it just keeps she keeps sharing her medicine through these words. It's like a mystery school of wisdom. And it's not just for women, it's for everybody.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just like Yeshua was not just for men, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
wisdom is
Right.
wisdom, and we all need wisdom.
Yes. And the sacred union is part of this path. And the union of the masculine and the feminine is a big part of where this leads. And it has certainly for me and for many people on the path. Yeah. So it's bringing us home together, brothers and sisters, bridging the factions.
We're more and more becoming aware that we live in a multidimensional reality, that there's parallel Earths.
Yeah.
And for 30 years, my fantasy of the parallel Earth is that when people went to a church, instead of seeing a guy hanging on a cross crucified, you saw Yeshua and Mary Magdalene and Yab Yab. Imagine if that was what we as little kids saw instead of the guy hanging on the cross.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there. It's deep. It goes so deep. There are so many layers into the heart of these mysteries, and this book really gives you a way in, a portal in, to begin to feel it inside of yourself, and then begin to explore and go deeper with what this means. And for me, just to be able to hold this project and these authors has been a huge, huge healing journey around early religious trauma that I had at age 15 that has really become healed, and I've let go of a lot of anger and opened, my heart has just opened so wide. So it's just such a journey.
You know, for especially men, but anybody who's watching right now, if you were disillusioned with your original, that's my roommate, Lucky, coming in behind me. If you were, it's the ghost of Mary Magdalene. But most of us were disillusioned with whatever our first religious upbringing was.
Yeah.
And the sad part is people who then throw out all spirituality because of that disillusionment. And so to find a pathway, as all of you and all of these wonderful women have found, the pathway through Mary Magdalene shining the light.
Yeah.
And I just invite people, if you were disillusioned with your original religion, good for you. You probably were smart.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean to toss the baby out of the bathwater.
Yes.
Cultivating a spiritual practice that works for you is about the most important thing we can do in life.
Yeah. 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 And learning to discern what's your truth. You know, I feel like I've had these feeding tubes stuck into me for 15 years of everybody else's truth, and I've had to really cut that and step into my own spiritual sovereignty in order to hear what's real. And Magdalene has been a real watchtower and a beacon for that, as she has for many of us, I think. Yeah.
And we still have a few authors left to
Yes,
yeah?
yes. We have 2 more authors to hear from, so I'd love to hear from Molly.
All right. Here's Molly Kinzer Douglas.
Hey, love.
Hello. Hi. Thank you, Astara. Oh, thank you, everyone, for having me here and hosting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, wow. Yeah, I'm just so in awe of everyone here and the stories and the synchronicities that come up with this. And like so many, my chapter was the initiations. It continues to be the initiations and connecting into those stories that hit the wounds. And mine resonated from childhood sexual trauma and losses. And it was through connecting with Mary Magdalene at a retreat to really heal this worthiness wound. And I think that's the biggest one that continues to come up through this. And, as a therapist, the last 13 years in trauma, this worthiness wound is what continues to come up over and over and over again. And the separation between the masculine and the feminine within, right? And this is beyond gender. And that separation, and that really came up again. That worthiness wound was tugging on me yesterday, a little bit with the feast day, right? Mary Magdalene feast day. And like just being here and this part of this collaboration and having a seat at the table, like feeling worthy to have a seat at the table, right? This table of love. And somebody brought up in the chat too, this picture of like the Last Supper. And that's the image that's been coming up too with, Mary Magdalene there and recognizing like how she must have felt, right? Being recognized and seen in all of her glory and her spiritual gifts and her, the apostle of apostles, and just recognized and seen for that. And then feeling the wounded masculine of almost like this part of them that may have felt forgotten or not enough or left off, left out, or the envy, the jealousy, the resentment, the anger. And like that separation has trickled down, even the symbology of this has trickled down for thousands of years. And feeling that within my own inner masculine and feminine yesterday, and recognize where there's room for everybody at this table, right? Like we are all here to feast on this meal, and no more scraps, right? No more half loves. And it's about coming back to this love without conditions, love without dependencies that I didn't inherit. And that sacred union of bringing that back together has really been the unraveling of this story and coming back to this full, fulfilling love that is Mary Magdalene to me.
Oh my gosh, thank you. So beautiful. It is a homecoming, right? To connection, to love, to letting love flow. Thank you so much, Molly, for embodying that and for writing such a beautiful chapter. Powerful initiations. Yeah. Thank you, sister. Yeah. Sade.
There she is.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Yeah, well, I'm just feeling on the tails of that beautiful share, this awareness of this epidemic of unworthiness. And I'm feeling into how it affects women, absolutely, and how it also affects men, that loss of the mother, the loss of the feminine. And my chapter really goes into this question, like what happens when the feminine goes into exile and the masculine is distorted and kind of hijacked to the forces of power and greed. And it, as I'm hearing everyone's stories, I'm feeling like, wow, it's really asking this question, like, who is the creator? Growing up in the Christian church as well, the images that I had for the highest of the high, right, the holy of the holies was male. And so just feel into what that does to our sense of worthiness as those who identify with the feminine part of us that feels as if creator is something outside of us. We will never obtain that. We will never be that. And so my story, I really go through this process of confronting a surprise pregnancy and finding myself in that role of creatress. And I confront the ways that our patriarchal society and the men around me are still quite in ownership of my body and my choices. And so my prayer and my inquiry in this piece is just what happens if I can free myself from that, if I can recast myself as the main character, the main creatrix in my own story, and to come off the sidelines. And I think that's what a lot of women are doing today is really coming off the sidelines. And I hope that this piece is really a prayer towards the upliftment of her. I'm so grateful for the womb.
Mm. Mm. I just love the synchronicity of the order of the shares tonight and the way, Sade, that your piece is really the culmination of many of the shares. So thank you so much for your vulnerability, your willingness to go there, to go deep and to ask the really hard questions in your chapter.
My pleasure.
Thank you, sister.
I have so enjoyed each and every presenter here, and there's more. Not tonight, but just want to remind everybody that there's so much still to learn about this book and about what Astara has put together. So our show this Saturday night, I'd already scheduled three people for Saturday night: Deborah Poneman, Dr. Kat Lewis, and Pollyanna Bush. Pollyanna is a wonderful musical artist. But then I realized there's more. So we're going to continue this conversation on Saturday night. Kalila, who a few of you have mentioned tonight as, a big part of the lineage of learning, will be with us by pre-recorded video. Astara will be back with us. Christy will be with us. Eden will be back with us. And want to encourage everyone, join us this Saturday night, 6 o'clock Pacific time. And of course, we'll have wonderful music with Omashar and also Pollyanna. So please do join us this Saturday night. And again, one more time, I want to take people to the where you can get this book on Amazon. It's Magdalene Unveiled. Just go to Amazon.com, put in the search bar Magdalene Unveiled, it'll come right up for you. And it's available on Kindle as well as a paperback.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Scott. And also, I want to let everybody know that the proceeds from a portion of the proceeds from your purchase are going to a food bank here in North Carolina. There are many families in my county who are in food insecurity, facing food insecurity. So we're supporting that, and we're also supporting other families who have just been displaced due to the floods here in North Carolina as well. So your purchase is actually going to people who need it, who need help right now on the ground. So thank you for your support.
I'm going to read a few of the comments from our presenters. And Shoshana, maybe you can put in the chat box what you would like to say or ask, because we are running a long time. Pam writes, "Thank you for this share. I deeply resonate with what you were saying." And this is from Molly. "As a woman, I have spent years working through the worthiness wound and how to feel loved. I'm getting there now, and it's with the help of brave women like you who model the way." And Susan Blomquist is asking if the writers have all met before. And I see that Diane answered that only some of us. So for many of you, it's like your first time kind of interacting with each other tonight, right?
Well, we've interacted for sure over the past year as a circle. We've been in circle together. Many of us have not met in person. However, it feels like we have, even though we haven't. There's that sort of like, I remember you kind of a feeling with many of us, even if we haven't physically been together. So it's a beautiful web of sisterhood that has really developed.
Beautiful. Adrena Joy, who's coming all the way from Ecuador, writes, "Thank you to every single one of the amazing 33 authors and this incredible anthology. I'm grateful that it's available as an ebook as well, so I could order it, and I just purchased the Kindle edition from Ecuador right now. Looking forward to downloading it, reading it, and sharing its beauty, truth, and wisdom widely. It is already a bestseller, and it needs our support and our green dollars." Absolutely. Thank you, Doreen.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, I will look forward to seeing you on Saturday night. And thank you, everybody, all of the wonderful presenters, Elizabeth Kelly, Christy, all the authors that have joined us. It's been a beautiful, beautiful show. And the only way we could properly close such a beautiful show is with Omar Shar.
Yes.
Holy Mother, my heart longs to be free. dissolve me into thee.
Sort of perfect. Dr. Laura writes, Oma Star, not only are your songs perfect, but your backgrounds are always spot on. You are so appreciated.
And just so you know, that was also a Kathy Zavada hit. And both of the bumpers on this one, her presence came in so strongly. And I know she's now living in Ashland as a Unity minister. She has her own Unity church up there. However, I've known her for many moons, and all she has loved is the mother. She used to be Amma in India's personal musician as well back in the day. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
And I like what Dia Therese wrote. She wrote, Omashar, not only, oh no, that was before. She wrote, Omashar, you fit in perfectly with your feminine, lovely, holy mother backdrop. And that is true.
See, I'm not even in the way of the goddesses. Look.
That's right. That's right. You're not even blocking any of the goddesses. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I want to acknowledge that Drina Joy just put into the chat box a song by my good friend Maria Stark, who now is a neighbor. She lives also in Grass Valley. And Maria is wonderful. So that is a wonderful song to download. All right. It's been a beautiful, wonderful show. Thank you, everybody, for being with us. Thank you again, Astara, for being a wonderful co-host. I'm going to bring you up one more time. Thank you again, Christy Michaels. All things begin with Christy when it comes to Mary Magdalene. And of course, my beloved co-pilot, Omashar, thank you. I'm going to go to gallery view one last time. Thank you, Global Peace Tribers, whether you've got your camera on or off. Desiree, thank you for what you do, even when you're in the middle of your dinner. And much love to each and every one of you. I'll see you on Saturday night. Have a great week.